biggest bad guy character in professional wrestling?
When's the last time you got laid?
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Like, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Can we tell the truth about Dusty sooner or later?
Less people wanted that than are currently watching our stream.
And you know Vince, and you still think, are these true? It's like...
Welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Mark It Down podcast. My name is Nick Cummings, joined tonight by James Asante. We are back here again, this time to review the 2024 edition of WWE's SummerSlam.
Was there spit swapping makeout matches?
Kind of. Because we can
kind of. They're real. Damn, set myself up for it. I was being totally sarcastic, but I love it.
And that leads us right into our first match of the evening, which saw Liv Morgan defend her Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley. Obviously, there's been a lot of drama surrounding this match with Liv and Dom and Rhea and this love triangle between, well, obviously the three of them. This match was, I thought, really good. We had, at a certain point early in the match, Rhea apparently re-injured her shoulder. A lot of my friends, and James included, were having some real PTSD moments with that. Some of them who have popped their shoulder out before were saying that almost looked real. I don't know. Luckily, all my shoulder injuries are internal. Rhea, multiple times throughout the match, pushed it back into place, first on the announce table, and then later in the match up against the turnbuckles. But towards the end of the match, we got to a point, James, where Liv went into the timekeeper's area and she grabbed a chair. The chair was quickly taken out of play by Rhea, but when she hit a riptide onto Liv, instead of going for the cover, she picked up the chair and was going to take Liv out with it. However, she was stopped by Dom. And
what a good guy. What a good guy, that Dom.
While Rhea was incredibly pissed that he stopped her, we did see that he was like, no, you can't win the title like this. You have to go after her the right way. This then led to Liv running into Rhea up against the ropes, and that knocked Dom off of the apron. The two of them went back. Liv hit her finisher, which is Oblivion. There we go. Forgive me if I don't know all the finishers. I don't watch WWE. You know,
you are doing great. I am proud.
She hit Oblivion, but Rhea was able to kick out of that. Eventually, we then got to the point where Dominic went back around to the other side of the ring and distracted the referee. And right before he started doing that, he slipped the chair back into the ring. And I believe commentary pointed this out, a la back when they were at Crown Jewel, I believe it was. And what ended up happening was you saw Dom clearly point out the chair. And to my eyes, very quickly, it was, oh no, he's pointing it out to Liv. Here comes the turn. And lo and behold, I was correct, as Liv was able to hit an Oblivion onto the chair, slide it out, and pin Rhea 1, 2, 3 for the victory. As Liv won the match, we quickly got a camera shot of Dom, who was smirking in a very evil manner, although I don't think you can smirk in a non-evil manner. And we then have Liv...
No, you could have a coy smirk. You could have like a Jim smirk, you know?
yeah, Jim the camera. Anyway, Liv then got out of the ring, and as James alluded to, she went right to Dominic, and the two of them started making out in front of Rhea, who was going through a bevy of emotions. She was distraught, livid, devastated, on the verge of tears, either from anger or just being absolutely upset. So great acting out of her there. And we have the new Lovebirds leave and flip off the crowd as they're going out. So, James, I really like this match, but I think, and I'm stealing this opinion from somebody on Twitter, the end of this is going to overshadow how good of a match this was inside the ring.
One, completely agree. Excellent matchup between these two women. They have chemistry. They used to be a tag team together. They feuded before. They talked about it on commentary. The last time Rhea has been pinned in a one-on-one match was against Liv over 2 years ago. So these women obviously know each other very, very well, and that reflected in the match that they had. So great showing from these two ladies. Great storytelling. Just out the gate, Rhea, mommy girl.
Don't do James like that, yo, with the shoulder.
As someone who, within the last 365 days, I have dislocated my shoulder 7 times, guys. It's miserable. I've had to reset it myself. I've had people reset it for me. It's a terrible, terrible, painful experience. And the thing is, what she did to reset it, pretty valid. I've had to smash my arm on the floor before to put it back in. It's awful. If this was legit, she is a superstar. She is a superhero. Now, I do got to address, we got our boy Hojo in the comments. He misses our faces. You know I miss you. You know I love you, Hojo. I miss you, buddy. Please, I got to see you soon.
Come back on the show.
Any circumstance. But yes, that would be great. I do just want to acknowledge this comment right here from You Know the Deal. Dirty Dom should immediately be inducted into the Hall of Fame for hooking up with both Rhea and Liv. Do you know how impressive it is? You know the deal. You know how impressive it is to be a heel and somehow manage to turn heel? Bravo to the son of Rey Mysterio for finding a way to make us hate him even more.
The son of the ultimate babyface is now the ultimate heel.
We hate him on a level of, wow, that lucky son of a bitch. We hate him on how dare he hurt our beloved Rhea. And we hate him on a level of Liv too. And you know he's got to go home, and his wife can't be super happy either. The guy's got nuclear heat no matter what door he goes through. So just excellent, excellent work. Fletcher, what's up, Fletcher Targaryen? We'll talk into some of how you felt about it. Please let us know as we go through the show. But
just know, guys, Fletcher is very disappointed in this show.
And Fletcher, we get it. We get it. You have some valid complaints, and I promise we will talk about them. We always appreciate having you here.
I'm not going to lie. It wasn't my favorite show either. But we'll get to that as well.
We'll talk. We will talk. Hojo saying Dom is on a different stratosphere. Give him all of the things. He already has enough.
Yeah, right?
He has enough.
He's good. He's good.
But the match was great. I loved the setup initially when Dom had taken the chair out of Rhea's hand and convinced her not to hit Liv with it, and then Liv hits her finish right off of that moment. I thought that was fantastic. Commentary really played up into how long was this being planned? Was this months in the making? How long was this a thing? And I want to know if Liv was surprised by this. Or is she just that good an actress these last few weeks that she made us all believe that she had been heartbroken by Dom? So I'm very intrigued to where this story goes, just beyond the fact that there is so much heat to it.
She didn't seem surprised at this after the match. It seemed like this was something that was planned because she didn't like run over to him like, oh my God, like you helped me. It was more of a, yeah, we completed our mission here. We did what we set out to do. And now we're going to make out in front of everybody.
And maybe you are probably right. But I regardless, I am super invested in finding out the details of this arrangement between the two of them.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a big show for a lot of reasons. But
he's in AEW, bro.
But but this, I think, being one of the leading ones because the Judgment Day has been, I think, one of the main focal points of Raw, if not the main focal point of Raw. So everything that happened to them tonight, as our title kind of gives away, the implosion of Judgment Day, it will, I think, be the most important part of the show tomorrow and the thing I'm most looking forward to seeing.
Absolutely. Hojo saying, according to Danny, Liv is a terrible actress. I'm going to let you in on a secret, Hojo, just real quick. Danny is one of the smartest wrestling minds I know. He is very, very intelligent. He is very well versed, and he has a great analysis on wrestling. But when it comes to his favorites, he gets a little bit blinded. Little bit blinded. Just a tad. So
Danny will also just lie to piss you off. So
no, I believe he feels that way because he's going against Rhea. I'm genuinely Eric saying that he's smarter. We have Danny in the comments. Different Danny. What do you guys think about Jey Uso being involved a little? Do you think they will do anything? First of all, Danny, thank you for being here. We don't know you at all. Second of all, we will get into that a little bit later. But yes, it's a matter of when, not a matter of if, when it comes to the Yeet Man getting involved in the festivities.
Well, there's multiple festivities he could be involved in because Rhea is now single.
All right, so I don't want to. So many people in the storyline are married. I don't
right?
need to learn these lines anymore. But I wouldn't mind seeing it. But we'll see. I would rather, though, go to the bigger story. That story doesn't need him.
No, it'd be funny for like a week. But
yeah, exactly. If they want to do it till the next pay-per-view period, like Bash in Berlin, go for it. It's like a 2-week build up until then. Sure. But anything past that, like, I don't need them going into bad blood with it.
Yeah.
So,
like, I don't even see it like going that far because I know Rhea's probably going to be very, very upset. And I can almost kind of see him just being like, yeah, it was funny for a minute, but like now this is just sad. And I don't want to. We got
Logan in the comments. What's up, Logan?
How's it going, man? I can just kind of see here. I can kind of see Jay just being like, I'll give you your space. You need time to heal, and I'll stay out of it.
I am both disappointed and, of course, proud at the same time of everybody on the internet, no matter the forum, whether it was Reddit, Twitter, or wherever you get your wrestling memes, saying that we were definitely going to see a recreation of the live sex celebration tomorrow on Raw. So, batting 1,000, internet, batting 1,000. Logan asking how we're doing today. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good.
He's a little tired. I'm a little more lively right now because I think I enjoyed the show a little bit more than he did.
I've also had a long couple of days. I got this nice jersey though, so that's cool.
There you go. But all right. Anything you want to say about the match or how everything played out?
No, I really enjoyed the ring work, and I think that again, that's something I think is going to be lost in a lot of this. The story obviously is very, very intriguing moving forward. But I'm not surprised these two women put on a really good match. I thought everybody played their roles perfectly. This is one of the few matches I thought the crowd was actually awake for because of how much they hate Dom and how much everyone loves Rhea and Liv, honestly, to an extent as well. So especially the end there, they were really, really loud. You can kind of hear after this, they slowly were in and out. You know, they dipped really far down and then were in and out. I know that's something Logan mentioned in the comments earlier.
One thing I do want to acknowledge, too, though, is they were in an open stadium. Sound travels really weird in open stadiums. We know this now. We've been. I'm a vet at these open arenas. I know that I've been at shows where people are screaming their heads off, but it's going up into the air, and there's no bounce backs. So I'm willing to give them a little bit of credit here. A little bit, because I don't think they were dead throughout the night, but there were segments of the night that it was just like, oh God, the crickets are killing me.
Yeah, and I mean, the next match we're going to talk about in a second, I think, was one of them, but it is kind of weird where, you know, a stadium I know that can be as loud as Cleveland Browns Stadium, aka the Mistake by the Lake, during football season, and that does translate on TV for football games. Oddly doesn't translate for wrestling shows. I do not know why. Maybe they just mic up the stadium differently than they do in an NFL game. And you know, the hard cam's obviously in a much different place. But it's just weird that I watch football and it's loud as hell, and then I watch wrestling and you can't hear a freaking thing.
Yeah.
So very, very strange. I don't know why, but this was definitely a match where the crowd was loud. Hello, Matt. You are.
Well, he's muted. He's muted. Let me unmute him.
I'm good. I'm just in the subway, so I didn't want to be like, super loud. How's it sound?
You sound fine for now.
Yeah, you sound fine.
All right, I'll stay here till it got all bamboozled. So what are we up to? Keep going.
So just give quick thoughts before we move on to Liv versus Rhea.
Loved it. That dastardly Dominic Mysterio, fuck him. But what are you gonna do?
Somebody is. I don't know who. At this point, it's getting hard to keep up, but somebody is fucking him.
I mean, if I was fucking Rhea and Liv, it'd be hard to keep up too.
Yeah. What, Matt?
Big pimpin', big poppy, like whatever you want to call him.
I don't want to call him that.
Big Poppy? He's not a Mets fan, so he's not into it.
I know, but I still refuse to call him that on principle. I'm not taking David Ortiz's nickname from him.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a really, really good match. Both the women's matches were really good tonight.
I agree.
Different. Yep. So it's like hard to say which one was better. But the
crowd was there for one of them. They were not there for both of them.
Yeah, definitely.
Going back to Danny's question, what do we think about Jey Uso getting involved a little? I was shocked that he didn't have a presence tonight.
It was a little surprising.
For one of the arguably the second biggest show of the year, no Jey Uso was surprising.
Yeah, not even in the friggin' Manscaped commercial or nothing. You think he would have showed up in something at one point, but I didn't think he was going to show up in the main event, which we'll get to obviously later because it's too early, and especially with that return, it wouldn't make sense just yet. But yeah, the fact that no backstage segment, nothing. It was a little strange.
Yeah. But let's move on. I think to the next. I was about to say. Speaking of Jey Uso, we moved to his one of his best friends, Sami Zayn, as he took on Bron Breakker for the WWE Intercontinental Championship match. We did have a segment in between, though.
Was that the backstage with the Judgment Day? I thought that was after this, but okay, we can do backstage with the Judgment Day as we went backstage with them. I'll fix the bottom line in a second.
I got it. You keep talking.
We went backstage with the Judgment Day. We saw Finn, Carlito, and JD McDonough back there in the clubhouse, all pretty shocked at what had happened with Dom and Liv. Damian Priest comes storming in, asking if what the hell had happened. And when Finn tries to calm him down, Priest grabs Finn and asks if he knew anything about this or had anything to do with it. Finn was questioned Priest, saying, "How could you think that of me? Why would you even have to ask that question?" And Priest was just like, "Where the hell is he? I'm going to kick his ass." And Finn was like, "Look, the three of us will go out and find him. You just stay here and get ready for your match. Don't worry about it." So obviously, a bit of a tease as they continue to tease the Finn and Priest breakup, and also too, we see how annoyed Priest continues to be with Dom to the point where I think we all know that his true loyalties lie with Rhea as her friend. They are the Terror Twins. So
they were the original disciples of Judgment Day.
Yes, and clearly after they threw Edge out, they were the two leaders. So having Dom betray one of his closest friends, James, you saw just how absolutely furious he was, and it set up for a lot of emotion that he took into his match later in the night.
I know that watching Raw, the fans have had clues that maybe Finn has been pulling strings behind the scenes when it comes to Liv and Dom and that whole storyline. I know the viewers have. I don't know if it was ever acknowledged these last few weeks or for however long if Priest knew that Finn was doing stuff. So I thought it was a little odd that he was so aggressive towards Finn in that regard. I know they've been kind of beefing here and there.
They definitely do button heads.
But I thought it was a step a little too far for him to automatically be like, what do you know about this? How were you involved in it? I thought that was a bit much in terms of progression.
We did have the segment weaker.
That's what he was being. He was being abusive. No good?
Yeah, you're cutting up.
No good? All right. I'll check in later.
Later, buddy.
All right, bye, Matt. We hope to see you soon. Hello, Dev. Good to see
you,
brother.
What up, Dev? How you doing?
Matt, oh god, thank God he didn't
I
exit
know.
the
I
whole
got so
fucking thing.
fucking scared. I got so scared.
As
I
I was,
removed him. He's still in here, but I don't know where.
yeah.
Yeah.
As I was saying though, James, we had that segment where Priest was going into the clubhouse and he saw Liv leaving, and it was only Finn still in there. So I think his suspicions have been, I don't know if aroused is the right word there, but he has been a little leery of Finn ever since that has happened.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I again, given the story that was unfolding throughout the night, I get how we got there and I get why that was necessary, but still, it felt sudden. And I do like, we'll talk about, I guess, the segment later too. I do like that Priest apologized for it.
Right.
But yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, you're gonna have to remind me when that is, because honestly, this is something I always talk about when we do the WWE pay-per-view reviews as opposed to the AEW ones. There is so much filler between matches.
It sucks.
I do not remember when.
Are you watching on Peacock?
Yes.
Are you watching on Peacock Premium?
Yes.
So,
but there's still a lot of crap.
Yeah, no, there absolutely. I'm not taking that away. I was blown away. I know they've done it before, and I know it's their thing. They just openly acknowledge, if you're a premium member, you get to see the background on this match.
Yeah, you get the promo package.
I have it. I do have the premium, so I do get to see it. But I would be so fucking mad if I'm not getting hype packages for I have to pay for hype packages.
And you just get commercials instead.
Insanity.
Yeah, and they just raised the prices, I might add.
Yep. We got Chris in the comments. What's up, Chris? Chris saying if they're not in a good mood, it's because Bayley lost her WWE Championship to Nia Jax.
Me too.
Yeah, yep. Join the club there, Chris. But I feel for you. But good segment. And I'm glad that. Oftentimes we've talked about it. Sometimes it does feel like the Judgment Day can overwhelm the show with how many segments they get. I thought tonight was a good example of how to do it. There was a through line throughout the entire show.
Yeah, I really do enjoy when they have that, and they have it a lot on Raw, and a lot of times it is Judgment Day, which is why they end up getting so many segments. But Triple H has been a big fan of like having a through line throughout the show. And we saw it again here tonight, even on a pay-per-view.
Yep. Before we move on to our next segment, I do want to say to everybody who's with us, because we do have a good amount of you tonight, thank you for being here. If you're one of our regulars, somebody like Logan or Chris or Dev, thank you for joining us again. We know that I hope you guys know how much it means to us when you return to us. And if you're a new viewer who's just checking in for the first time, thank you for clicking on us. It means a lot. I hope we did something right by you so far. If you're new, we would definitely appreciate a subscription. You know, the more of you guys there are in our community, the more fun stuff that we can do. So please hit that like button and definitely hit subscribe. It means the world to us. And if you're checking us out on any other form of social media right now, if you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on X, thank you for checking us out there. And of course, join the party wherever you are. Be part of our community. We have cookies. We don't share them, but we do have cookies.
I do actually have 2 sleeves of cookies and some ice cream cake in my freezer.
Oh,
but
please.
But let us continue on here and get back on track, as now we actually went to Sami Zayn versus Braun Baker for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. This match was quick.
I was shocked at how quick. I am and I'm not. I'm disappointed because I love their first match.
Yes.
I thought their first match was great. And to an extent, maybe because of how good that first match was, this match needed to be different. And because Braun Breaker is such an explosive character, it needed to be quick. But, man, I was surprised. For SummerSlam, I was surprised.
Yeah, so just to cover the end here, we had Sami, who was seemingly, I guess he was in control for a decent chunk of the match. He hit, Braun had a bit of a comeback. Sami caught him with the exploder in the corner. He was going for the Luva kick, but Braun recovered, hit him with a spear, and then hit the ropes twice for his, super fast spear, even though he only hit the ropes twice. Usually hits them like 3 or 4 times. So, and then he ended up winning off of that. And it was just I didn't mind how short it was. I saw Meltzer point out that it was an attempt to make Braun look, like the beast that they've been trying to book him as. The vet caught him the first time, and that's fine. And he learned from his mistakes, and he comes out and he wins in a quick and decisive fashion. Fine, except this was not decisive. Sami, there was very even, and it just felt like we were still building in the match.
I agree.
And then all of a sudden it ended, and it almost felt to me like Braun should have really just, if you're going to do it this short, have Braun just kick his fucking ass. Or at least make the finish way more definitive than it was instead of just 2 quick spears and it's over.
One thing I will say in the defense of how this was booked was we saw in the last match that there were a couple of opportunities where arguably Braun had Sami beat. But he would either get too excited, he would try to do too much, and it would backfire on him. And that's why Sami won last time. Sami took advantage of an overzealous, overeager Braun Breaker. So in this instance, Braun wasn't doing that again. Braun did learn a lesson from the previous match. I agree in the sense that if you want him to look dominant, make him look dominant, he really just capitalized on a mistake I wouldn't even call it a mistake from Sami. It was just he capitalized on speed.
Yeah, it wasn't a mistake at all. Sami was going for the haluva kick and he caught him. It almost looked like a mistake, just that Braun, not even a mistake, just by chance Braun timed out the haluva kick and hit the spear. Now, if you wanted to tell that story where he was learning and not making the same mistakes, I think you could have done a much better job of that, because I don't think commentary really fucking noticed that's what was happening. So, I don't know. I like the result here. I do like the fact that Breaker won, even though I'm always going to be sad when
we knew it was coming. We knew after the last match, we all said it here on the pod. Everybody knew the next match was going to come soon and Braun was going to win it.
Exactly. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the fact that they want Braun to, again, look like this absolute, beast and just real strong, athletic young gun coming up and shooting up the ranks. I'm fine with all that. I just think they did a terrible job of telling that story in the ring. Whatever story they were trying to tell did not get across properly, because this just felt like a random match on Raw that ended very quickly, and you could have swapped out Sami Zayn for fucking Ricochet, and it probably would have, stood up exactly the same.
I don't disagree with you.
No disrespect to Ricochet, but he wasn't being booked like Sami.
Before we get into the next match, I'm going to need a second, but if you want to start doing the recap for it, go for it, okay?
Well, I was actually going to end up recapping because I don't know when it happened, but we do need to talk about that Otis segment at some point.
Go for it. All right. Recap the next match. I'll be right back.
All right. So as we wait for James here on the Market Down podcast, we then now head to Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Yeah. For the WWE United States Championship. This match had Logan come out with MGK, and as I was explaining to my cousin who I was watching the show with tonight, these two are a couple of herbs, which is the nicest thing I can say about them without getting our podcast taken off of the air. They come down to the ring. MGK goes into the stands, and then we have LA Knight pull up in the prime wrapped Hummer EV that he stole from Logan Paul on SmackDown. Knight comes out of the truck. He grabs a pipe from the back seat, breaks one of the windows, and then heads to the ring. The match itself was actually pretty good. Logan got mercilessly booed in his hometown, despite the fact he was wearing Browns colors. And that made me very, very happy because that man has been stepping in it lately again. LA Knight, huge pop for him. And this was a good match. As much as we all hate Logan Paul, and we all say we always do, he does continue to deliver in a WWE ring, which is annoying. But he brought it tonight, as he does most nights. This match actually started with the two of them brawling on the outside for a very long time before Knight threw Paul back into the ring, and the match then got underway. We had the two of them going through the Prime hydration station, and I hate giving Paul's bullshit fucking Gatorade more publicity, but it's there and it's his match, so whatever. The two of them did a table spot. I think LA Knight hit a neck breaker on the table, which did not break. It looked like it hurt a lot, but eventually at the end of the match, we had Logan Paul go over to his, as Michael Cole likes to call them, goof friends, and he went over there in an attempt to get some sort of weapon, probably to load up his hand again, as he has done before. However, Knight was able to get over there, take out the two goofballs, and eventually Logan came over and took Knight down, allowing him to get MGK to come back on the other side of the barricade and hand him a chain with brass knuckles at the end of it that Paul put on. Paul then went after Paul went then after LA Knight. We had gone back into the ring, and when Knight went after him, Paul threw a right hand over his shoulder with the brass knuckles. This stunned Knight, and it looked like Paul was then going to hit the buckshot lariat. However, Knight was able to counter and hit the blunt force trauma and win his first championship in WWE. I am thrilled for LA Knight. This guy has deserved a title since he has gotten there. He is one of my favorites. Obviously, he had the meteoric rise once he got to the company, or after he had the whole Max Dupree thing on the main roster. But the dude really shot up, and obviously he ended up losing his title match to Roman, but he has been relevant since then, and the man deserved a title here in WWE. And as an added bonus, that schmuck Logan Paul loses his title as well. So I'm a very happy camper. A lot of good stuff from this match. The crowd was actually pretty into this match. Obviously, that Logan is very divisive, and people were mostly booing him, but he will always elicit a reaction from the crowd. You have LA Knight, same thing, but on the opposite end, where he's always going to get a reaction himself. So they were pretty into this. And again, as we've been discussing, there hasn't been a whole lot in this. There wasn't a whole lot, of reaction from this crowd throughout the entire card. So it was nice to see them getting into something. Eric in the chat reminding me of the Logan springboard, which was very, very awesome. And once again, Logan is very good in the ring. He is really good at, especially a lot of this high-flying springboard stuff, which is very surprising considering how difficult it can be, let alone just wrestling itself. So while he did have a great spot there, I feel like he also almost got himself killed when there was a superplex attempt off the top ropes. And I don't know if it was actually a brainbuster and we all just thought it was a superplex. Because if it was a brainbuster off the top rope, it looked pretty cool. Or if Logan just didn't get his legs up and wasn't able to fully rotate, and somehow they saved it because he at least landed on his shoulders and not his neck, thereby killing himself. So thank goodness they were able to save it as James returns here. And all is well that ended well. James, as I was mentioned, LA Knight winning his first WWE championship in the United States Championship. Logan Paul losing his championship after a very controversial week for him. So a lot to go over here. But I like this match. I thought it was better than some of the other matches on the card. But perfectly good mid-card title match.
Oh, I thought this was a great matchup for what it was, for, like you said, for the U.S. title. I think you thought it was better than it was, too, because the crowd was super into this match. And they were super into LA Knight. And they were super into booing Logan Paul. So all of that was great. I thought it was interesting that they did oopsies. I thought it was great that they did no, I'm so sorry. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was a little weird that they had all that fighting happening before the bell, simply because there was nothing that happened there that would have been a DQ, I think. Right? Like he threw him into the hydration station. He did a spot on the. Oh, he did hit him with a bottle?
Hit him with, I think Knight hit him with a bottle, and Logan used the his liquid to spit it in LA Knight's face.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit there, but nothing too
I
crazy.
guess. Yeah, either way, it was fine. It was fine that they did that. I loved all this. First of all, can we all just agree as a society, fuck Machine Gun Kelly, right?
Yeah. I called them, I said the nicest thing I can say about both of these two guys is that they're herbs.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm so happy that LA Knight won this US title. It has been a long time coming. He has deserved it. He's deserved it. He deserved it months and months ago. The thing that stresses me out a little bit, the thing that's given me some anxiety here, is that they really they hammered it in for us. What a defining moment for LA Knight winning this United States Championship. And I really don't want to believe this is going to be his highlight of his WWE career.
Yeah, I would really hope not.
Especially in a world where there are 2 world titles, LA Knight could absolutely be a world champion.
100%. And I mentioned, he did get a run at I think it was at Roman, right? A little while back.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and he more than held his own in that feud. And then, he's a good enough wrestler, definitely, to be involved. So, as we have Matt once again returning, this time from the New York City streets. What's going on, Matt?
Right outside my apartment. I'll be with you guys in 10 minutes. I just wanted to say this is not months and months, James. This is a year overdue for LA Knight. Yeah. Should have gotten the title, the U.S. title, 1 year ago at SummerSlam instead of winning the Slim Jim Battle Royal. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll talk to you guys in 10 to 15.
All right. Thank you, Matt, for that much-needed interruption. I do agree with him. I do. This has been a long time overdue.
I do. And this is purely, this is straight up anecdotal, but I was at a convention earlier today. I was at a horror convention today, Monster Mania in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. There was somebody cosplayed as LA Knight. He had the music going with him. He had a little speaker on him, had playing his entrance music. And he would do the LA Knight, yeah. And again, we're at a horror convention. People are doing the yeah. Knight is over.
He's the megastar.
He is the megastar. I know there are people, some of them in our own group, who aren't, for some reason, totally sold on this guy. I don't know what he could do to get them to turn around. He is entertaining. I think he is way better in the ring than a lot of people give him credit for. I don't think he's a master technician, but he could put on good matches.
Yeah, that's all he needs. That's all he needs to do.
Exactly. So, well overdue. I'm very happy for him. I know you talked about that superplex that almost killed Logan. What a shame that would have been. But again, I know people. Undeniably, Logan Paul is a good wrestler. Undeniably. But we have seen in several of his matches mistakes that he makes.
Yeah.
I will always go back to that Rey Mysterio catch that everyone praises him for. Remember, Rey was doing a springboard moonsault, and everybody
both of them have. Yeah, and both of them have come out and said it was Logan's fault.
I said it. The night it happened, I was like, guys, Logan wasn't in position, and he saved it at the end. But it was Logan's fault. And whatever. I'm glad he's not dead, I guess. And LA Knight, yeah. I'm very excited to see where he's going with the title now. You have no idea how happy I am that Jacob Fatu is a tag team champion right now, because that means he's not going after LA Knight anytime soon.
That's pretty clutch.
Yeah.
And once again, LA Knight, shoes of a champion.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, let us move on to, I think it was at this point of the show, this Razor segment with Otis, because it has taken the internet by storm. We had it where Apollo Crews was getting his head shaved by what will hopefully remain an unnamed razor company. Baron Corbin comes over to help him because they have, the special razors for bald people. And then eventually Tozawa, Maxine Dupree, and Otis come over, and Otis takes one of the razors and starts using it on his stomach because the razor he picked up was also for body hair. And yeah, with the internet was aroused, I guess. I don't know, but everyone was having a pretty good time with this one, James.
I'm trying to treat it seriously.
No, please don't. Do not take this seriously.
I want good things for Otis. I want good things for Maxine Dupree. And I want good things for Tozawa. Now that they're split from Gable, I don't want them to be the forgotten act and then Gable and the Creed brothers move on to bigger and better. I think Otis has proven time and again he is a reliable, fun talent. They pushed him too hard, too fast when he won that Money in the Bank, and then everything just imploded from there for him. But absolutely do I think this guy could be a fun mid-card talent. If you wanted to slap a mid-card belt on him, I'm not going to complain. So maybe he was shaving his stomach so he could put a belt around it. Maybe that's where this is going. Who's the Intercontinental Champion right now?
The guy who just won it, Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker. Oh, yeah, never mind. He's not winning anything.
Well,
Wow.
You know what? Maybe Otis has enough, beef so that the spear doesn't affect him as much.
He just absorbs it?
Yeah, Braun just bounces off of it.
God. What a world. But, hey, we've sat through some pretty weird shit in WWE.
This was...
Hey, we watched FTR shave each other in the shower once.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
So this is PG in comparison.
Oh no, this was definitely rated R. But like your boy Xavier Woods. But no, honestly, I want to shout out Maxine and Tozawa. Their facial reactions will be memes for years to come now. They were great in this. I like how Maxine, I don't know if she's been doing it a lot recently or ever, or she just did it right now for this specific thing. She called him Otis again.
Yeah, it's been popping in and out. It's been popping in and out, and I love it.
I don't know if it's, when she gets turned on by him, she calls him Otis, and it's because she's flashing back to the old days, but
It's impossible to not be.
They were phenomenal. Corbin and Cruz were pretty fucking funny as well. Corbin being like, all right, yeah, this is our cue to leave was great. And then to top it all off with the Otis giving us the oh yeah after the voiceover. Just chef's kiss of a commercial. Well done. Nameless Razor. We now move on to our next match, which saw Bayley face off against Nia Jax for the WWE Women's Championship. Nia obviously had won Queen of the Ring to earn this title shot and has recently aligned herself with Women's Money in the Bank winner Tiffany Stratton, going so far as to get her a new briefcase after Bayley broke hers on the condition that Tiffy does not cash in on Nia when she wins the title. This match, man, I felt bad for this. So I have a lot of weird conflicting opinions here. I love Bayley. Her and Becky have always been my two favorite horsewomen by a lot.
Okay.
And I also, at the same time, do not like Nia. I always had a problem with her in the ring. Outside of the ring, she seems like a lovely person. This is strictly in the ring. She always, to me, felt like they got brought up way too early. She was way too green in her first run. And the couple of things Bayley called her out on, she, was out of shape and clumsy in the ring. And you saw that a couple of times in instances like, the Becky thing was an accident and it made Becky's career. So
Happy accident.
Her career. So yes, happy accident. But there was that thing with Charlotte and Nia would botch a whole lot. And I think part of that was also her booking because they booked her to be this strong monster and she's just not as strong as they booked her.
Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes, everything I've heard, she's been a much better in the ring since she has come back.
She has.
And she looks to be in better shape as well, and good on her. That being said, I still have a hard time getting past all of my previous prejudices. This was a good match, and the crowd was fucking dead for it.
Yeah.
Until the end, when Bayley hit that power bomb on her after she got her off, lifted her off the top rope and power bombed her in the middle of the ring. And then after that, it picked up a little. I think that led to Bayley going up to the top rope and hitting the elbow drop. Nia shockingly kicked out of that. And then that led to Stratton coming down with the briefcase and a ref for some weird reason as Matt rejoins us, this time finally from his home. So Tiffany comes down and it looks like she's going to attempt to cash in. This distracts Bayley, who hits her with a right arm, but that allows Nia to go back on the attack. And eventually she ends up winning the WWE Women's Championship with back-to-back Annihilators, which Bayley kicked out of an earlier one. Yes, she did kick out of an earlier one. And I'm not sure anybody had yet. So,
Nope.
Matt, I'll give you a second to get your bearings. So, James, I'm upset. Bayley lost. I know we have Chris LeClaire in the chat that he's very upset that Bayley lost.
Yeah.
Again, it's my previous prejudices with Nia. I'm going to do my best to move past them. So I'm going to give her a shot here with the title. But I'm upset because it's Bayley and I love her and I'm pissed. And I'm upset that this crowd did not give this match the respect it deserved.
I agree on a lot of those fronts. I am upset with the crowd for not giving a single crap about it. I'm sad as a Bayley fan that Bayley lost. But Nia's worked hard for this since she's come back. She's been busting her butt since returning to WWE. And quite frankly, I think she's earned it. So good for Nia. Sad as a Bayley fan. But what makes me the most sad about it is the promos that led to this were, I'm not the same Bayley that you beat back then. I'm not the hugging Bayley that you beat and that you injured back then.
Who
I'm
I
this
sorely
Bayley.
miss, by the way.
Yeah. I'm this Bayley and I'm going to beat you. And she did it. So that's a bit of a bummer for me. The bummer there is this new evolved Bayley still couldn't get the job done. Past that, I am like Chris in the comments. I am eagerly anticipating Tiffany cashing in Money in the Bank on Nia. Not even because I don't want Nia to have a run with it, but I think this could be a very good feud between the two women. So I'm willing to let it be like a month or two. Maybe I'd even be willing to push it to maybe 3 months. But I want her to cash in specifically on Nia, and then that is the feud going forward.
Yeah, and Chris is of the opinion that Nia is going to be a boring champion.
I disagree.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't know. I'm going to do my best to give Nia a chance here. I think that was the best match I've ever seen out of her.
Yeah.
I can't really think. Maybe the Asuka one, but that's
right
just
again,
Asuka.
guys. Sorry.
Yeah, Asuka can maybe just, she can wrestle a broom to a 4-star match. So wrestling Nia to a halfway decent one isn't impossible for her. But Matt, I'm so conflicted with this one, man. I really am. As James put it, I'm really sad as a Bayley fan, and I'm really disappointed in this crowd. So it's taking a lot away from what I thought was a really good match, at least in my head.
I think watching from where I was watching, I really enjoyed it, and the guys that I were with really enjoyed it. And so the crowd didn't really affect us, but I can see why, if you're watching by yourself and you're kind of just analyzing everything, that you might notice the crowd was like down, because it's not like you and your buddies are all like riled up. So yeah, that's disappointing. I mean, 3 Annihilators. I have to disagree with James being like disappointed that Bayley still couldn't get it done. I think she would have had it done had Tiffany not come in for the distraction. I think that was the whole point of that, was that she wasn't going to cash in. She was there to help her friend Nia win the title. She'll cash in at a later date. So I think let's even say that Bayley still couldn't beat her. She kicked out of the Annihilator. No one has done that. She did the power bomb on Nia. No one's done that. Like, except for maybe like one of the bigger gals. I can't think off the top of my head, but maybe Tamina did it at one point. Maybe
I'm trying to think of some more of the powerhouses, like maybe Raquel Rodriguez or Rhea ever do it, but I really don't know.
I know what's her face she's not Dewdrop anymore.
Oh.
The Scottish gal.
I know, and I'm blanking on it as well.
Yeah,
but
her. She's definitely shown that she can hold Nia up. She did in the Rumble, but like she never executed the move.
Piper
like,
Niven.
Thank you. That would have annoyed me so long. And I apologize to Piper Niven. I'm very hot. It's been a long night. I should have been here a half hour. I can believe
it. I beat you to it, James, but thank you.
So I think she really stepped up, and I think which she took, which was for me, it was a great title win at Mania, and just kind of like I wouldn't say mediocre, but just at best an average title reign, and you really ended it on a high note with a really great performance, great match that I think told a lot, even if the crowd wasn't into it. Like, this is the kind of match you can make highlights about. This is the kind of match you can put in her, like, if they did DVDs anymore, which they don't, but like, like the best of Bayley series or the best of Nia Jax series, you could put this match.
It'll be on the Peacock playlist.
it'll be on WWE.com's like top 10 moments. Like, you could do like top 10 Nia Jax moments or Bayley. I just said it. You know what I'm saying. So my only complaint I would say is, and this has to do with the whole show, like, they were all one-on-one matches tonight. They were all title matches except for one, which made it feel like Night of Champions 2011. And then also the people that won their titles at Mania that performed tonight, specifically Bayley, Sami Zayn, and Damian Priest, they all lost. They couldn't get past SummerSlam. And like, Mania to SummerSlam is a solid reign, but it's not above and beyond. I think out of the three, Sami was the one that I think really got hurt the most. So I think Bayley will be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure Bayley will be fine. And I know Chris in the comments asking where does she go from here, and that's a very good question. But to go back to her title reign for a second, I've seen a lot of people complaining that after Mania, Bayley's title reign, the ball was really dropped. She didn't really do too much, especially coming out of such a hot feud with Damage Control and all of that. So I wish they did more with it. They clearly didn't, but as you said, they went out on a high note with this match, and I don't know. And now we have the whole, what's going to happen with Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. I mean, Eric's in the comments saying Tiffy's not. Wrong one. Tiffy's not going to cash in on Nia, but I think I agree with James. I do think that while Tiffy's intentions tonight were to distract Bayley and not actually cash in on Nia, it might create that doubt in Nia's head, which could perhaps lead to some tension and eventually a cash in by Tiffy down the line.
I would love to see Nia continue the Queen gimmick, and maybe Tiffany could get in on that. Maybe like she's the Countess or something.
Corey called her the Princess.
Sure, that works. Yeah, I think
plays into her character very well. I think.
Yeah, I think they could play with that. They don't need to do it too long, like, not like a year or anything, but I think they should continue with the Queen gimmick.
Yeah, I don't love it too much when they make the person the king or the queen forever, and that's their gimmick now. It worked for Booker, and it kind of worked for Wade Barrett a little bit, but I feel like a lot of times when you continue it too long, it's just it plays itself out really quickly. So she can still call herself the queen of the women's division, and she wants to wear the crown around, fine, but she doesn't really need the crown now. She's the champ.
That's a great crown. Like, yeah. I really liked her crown.
It is. And, you keep calling yourself the queen around that women's division. There's another queen that might show back up and try to take it from you. See, I don't know where she's been, but she loves to just show up, take a title, lose it real quick, and then leave again.
That would be great.
We shall see. All right, let's keep things moving here. As we got to, as you alluded to, Matt, the only non-title match of the evening, which saw CM Punk face off against Drew McIntyre with special guest referee Seth Freakin Rollins. This was much more straight up than I thought it was going to be. Seth not really involved, letting any weapons get involved. There was one point where Drew attempted to convince him to let it use a chair, but Seth then took the chair away, and that made Drew quite irate. And eventually, CM Punk was able to capitalize. But the story of this match, Matt, was CM Punk getting in his own way, as eventually at some point Punk was able to retrieve his bracelet off of Drew's arm, but it remained on the mat as the two continued to wrestle. So Seth picked it up and put it on. And as Punk was seemingly after GTS going to win against Drew, he saw Seth had the bracelet on, and instead of going for the pinfall, he went after Seth, getting very upset, and eventually hitting Seth with a GTS himself. He hit the GTS onto Seth, but that allowed Drew the time to recover. He ended up kicking Punk in the huevos, and then hit a Claymore, and Seth was able to come to and eventually count a slow 3 count, but a 3 count nonetheless for the win. Drew then took the bracelet back from Punk, as Seth just seemed so done with all of them. He just left and ripped off the ref shirt and went back up the ramp. So I enjoyed this match. I thought there was great storytelling in it. The wrestling was fine, but they told a really good story here with the 3 men. It sets up obviously a lot for down the road. A lot of people are bandying about Hell in a Cell with Bad Blood. But this, like I said, the storytelling here with Punk just getting in his own way, as a reverse of Punk getting in Drew's way, I thought it was very well done, Matt.
Yeah, no, it's as I predicted, but at the same time, we've been watching wrestling for over 20 years. A lot of times we do predict these stories, and just because it's predictable doesn't mean it's not satisfying. And I think this match is
a lot of tonight, to be honest with you.
Oh my god, dude! Like we had a where I was at, we did a cash pool thing, and I won. Like I tied with somebody else, but straight aces got all the answers right, even the surprise ending. But back to this match, it was a slow burn. It was about the story, not so much about the action in the ring. Though there still was that. It wasn't lacking, but it wasn't like a 5-star classic or anything. I think really 2 things I noticed. One, Drew taking the bracelet out of his crotch was hilarious, because I'm like, oh, he came out to the ring and he took the gauntlets off and he wasn't wearing it. I'm like, I guess they're not doing this. And then he went to the corner, reached into his trunks and grabbed it. I'm like, ew. So that was one thing I noticed. And then 2, at the end, Drew wins. He's beaten Punk. He's vanquished Punk, but he takes the bracelet back, which I thought was an interesting note that I was not expecting.
I'm so upset about it. I'm so upset that he took it, because that means this isn't over.
Yeah, they're going to continue this feud. I thought that was the end of it, but clearly it's not. So even though we know Punk has unfinished business with Seth, and we all thought that would be next, it seems like he still also wants revenge on Drew McIntyre, or at least wants that bracelet back. So who knows where we were having a hard time figuring out what this match was going to become at SummerSlam. Was Punk going to be ready in time, injury-wise? Was it going to be a one-on-one with Drew or Seth, or a triple threat? We were having a hard time figuring it out, and I think what they came up with was satisfying, and I enjoyed it. But again, not sure where it's going next. We'll see. Maybe it's good. James, you don't seem too happy about it. That it looks like the Punk Drew feud is going to continue.
Hell in a Cell.
What?
Hell in a Cell.
No,
I don't know if we had a Hell in a Cell triple threat, but this feels like it could be one.
It was John Cena versus Punk
Alberto Del Rio
versus Alberto Del Rio.
I'm not upset in theory that this is continuing. It's just my guy got the win, and I'm happy there. Just let it be over.
Yeah,
move on. You won. Move on. It's over. Ferris is telling you at the end of the movie, go home. I wasn't watching with friends, but I was, talking with friends throughout the show, and one of them said something to me. Jordan, actually, whenever he shows up here again, he was saying how he wants this to continue, and he doesn't see how they couldn't continue it with just how much money is in this feud and with how much heat this feud has. Any combination of it, whether it's Drew and Seth or Punk and Seth or Drew and Punk or a combination, all three of them. There's just so much that you can achieve. And I do agree, even though it's not what I want, I do agree there is so much that they can get done with this. And Bad Blood is coming up, and I just have it in my bones that we're getting that Hell in a Cell there at Bad Blood.
But with who?
I wouldn't be shocked if it's the three of them, or I wouldn't be shocked if it's Seth versus Punk and Drew somehow gets involved.
But the cell is there to keep everyone else out, James.
It hasn't worked ever, literally since the first one.
That's the joke.
Going to the comments real quick. We have Dev saying he thinks it's going to be Punk versus Drew in Hell in a Cell in October. It's very possible. It's very possible. I don't see Seth sitting that out though. What else we got? New comment here from Blitzy Mel. Roman Reigns has returned as a face.
Wait, what? Really? He's back?
We haven't gotten that far.
Hold on. We got to change our title. But yeah, no,
Stop the presses.
Blitzy also saying Solo will never be the true tribal chief. I already ordered my OTC shirt, so it will be here probably Monday or Tuesday. But
Damn,
yeah,
their shipping's that good.
What?
I said their shipping's that good.
I may have gotten excited and paid for overnight, but regardless, cover your mouth when you yawn, boy. Come on. We're adults here.
I did halfway, and then I kind of gave up.
He's so tired he can't even cover his mouth to yawn.
You know I love busting your balls, man.
It's fine.
What was I gonna say? The match itself was fine. It's like you guys echoed yourselves. It really wasn't about the wrestling. It was about the story. Beyond the fact that I'm the biggest Drew mark, and beyond the fact that the CM Punk character could walk off a short pier, I loved how it played out for the characters. All we've been hearing from Punk these last couple of months, however long, is that Drew keeps screwing himself. Drew's letting his emotions get the best of him, and that's why Punk is able to get one over on him. Tonight it was the opposite. He could not control himself. He could not get out of his own way. Commentary said it. I hate to say it, but Punk cost himself that victory. I also loved that Seth, no matter what happened, played this clean. He played this down the middle.
Yeah.
Even after the GTS, he didn't do a fast count. It was, quite frankly, kind of a slow count.
Yeah, partially because he was recovering, and then on 3, he stopped, looked at Drew, and just went, all right. Like, he was like, I got to do it. I have no other choice.
So
I thought that was a great touch. Sorry.
Yeah, I completely agree. I thought that was beautifully done. And it's adding that this was all Punk's fault in terms of losing this match.
Yes.
No, it was all his fault in general, just everything.
I mean, across companies, it's all his fault.
Drew
It's all your fault.
Drew has been right this entire time. Has he been a bit of a dick about it? Yes. But he has been right this entire time. And that's what makes him such a compelling character. I was talking to my cousin about this, who was here with me tonight watching the show. I love heels that are right, because you can't argue with them. I know Cole keeps calling him a hypocrite, but Corey's right to point out, he's like, or I don't remember if it was Corey or Pat, but one of them was like, how is he a hypocrite? The only thing he was hypocritical on was the Money in the Bank briefcase. But at a certain point, turnabout's fair play, which is something we hear a lot in WWE, especially from Michael Cole's mouth. So he's been right the entire time, but every way Drew has gone about reacting to all of it has been in a heel way, and it makes him incredibly interesting to watch.
Going to the comments real quick.
Very similar to Hangman.
Yeah. Chris saying CM Punk screwed CM Punk. I mean, he was wearing Bret Hart inspired gear tonight, so
I did see mention that all three men did have a similar gear style to when I think it was Brett versus Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as the referee. Yep, thank you,
There
producer
you go.
boy.
Well done. Producer boy with that great timing. We then have from Blitzy saying Seth ruined the match. Blitzy, I'd love to hear why you think that. So let us know.
Yeah, I firmly disagree. I thought he added a great element to it.
Yeah, no, I think he was I think he was very necessary, but I would love to hear. I know producer boy himself said he didn't understand why he was in this match going into it. Takes one person. Jesus, guys. But while I have you all here, before we move on to our next segment, and it is that time of the video again, thank you guys for joining us so far here at the Mark It Down podcast. If you are a regular viewer, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for joining us again this Saturday night. If you're a new viewer and this is the first time you're watching us, hello. We don't bite unless you ask, and even then, we kind of need it in written form. But beyond that, thank you for joining us. If you like what you're seeing so far, please hit that like button. It lets us know we're doing the right thing and we can keep doing it. And hit subscribe, because if you join our family, we send out Christmas cards. I'll put you on the list. They're horrible. They don't really give you any information, but it makes me feel closer to you. So thank you guys, and let's keep going with the show.
And if you don't celebrate Christmas, we'll send you a Festivus card.
No. I mean, I didn't say I would send a Christmas card on Christmas. I could send it in July. I could send it in September. Well, Christmas cards are timeless.
You missed Christmas in July.
I popped with the Seinfeld reference. So
there you go.
Thank you.
Festivus for the rest of us.
I'm literally putting a Seinfeld thing on our Instagram story right now. By the way, if you guys like my Instagram stuff, let me know in the comments.
It's funny. There's very clear eras in our Instagram. When Danny was more in charge of our Instagram, it was very community heavy. And now that Matt is doing more for our Instagram, it's very Seinfeld heavy. So, yeah. Fun times. All right. Moving on.
I just stay on Twitter. After this and a whole bunch of other commercials, we once again went backstage with the Judgment Day as we saw Damian Priest getting ready for his impending match against Gunther. And we see Finn Balor return to the clubhouse, and he tells Priest that they were unable to find Dom. And Priest is like, yeah, they probably ran off. I believe after the show, Corey made a reference to them being in a honeymoon suite somewhere as a joke. Priest then attempts to apologize to Finn, and Finn says, no, you don't have to. I understand, you were upset. It's fine. And then Priest goes, thank you. I appreciate that, but I'm still sorry. And Finn's like, me too. Good luck out there. And Finn also then says, I know you don't want me out there, but if you need me, give me the signal and I'll be there if you do. And Priest thanks him and goes out for his match.
Priest is a bad friend, okay? You can't just be getting physical with your friends. He's a bad boyfriend. He's a bad partner. That's what I was saying on the subway, where I think I got cut off with you guys.
You did. He apologized unprompted. He's been beefing with this guy, and I'm just gonna say it. They got a bunch of testosterone in that room. A bunch of it. It happens.
Well, as with all relationships, when two people are leaders, and is eventually going to end. And that leads us into the match, which saw Damian Priest face off against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I really like this match.
I love it.
Big meaty men slapping meat. I know you love it, James.
They slapped the meat so hard there was blood.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was a result of the scar tissue from Gunther's match on Monday breaking open, or maybe one of Priest's gauntlets caught him or something. But either way, he was
my boobies hurt,
ripping right from his neck. Gunther was.
They tenderized that meat.
Yes.
Hot damn. On the ground.
It was great. It was very, very hard hitting. Eventually, we did have Finn Balor come down to the ring after Priest looked to be in a bit of a way. So he came down for some support, which slightly distracted Gunther, but for the most part, he was able to keep the course. However, Priest then made a comeback, He hit both Razor's Edge and South of Heaven. And in something James, I think you're not going to like either, Gunther lands after the South of Heaven, and Priest rolls him towards the ropes of the furthest possible way.
It was awful. It was so bad.
Because Gunther really didn't go far enough over, or they didn't take the spot far enough near the ropes as it was. But what it set up for was Finn Balor coming over and putting Gunther's foot on the ropes to break up the pinfall without the referee noticing. And frankly, without Priest noticing for a moment, we had the camera go straight to Finn's face, and he looked devilish or demonish, actually. And eventually, Priest saw the replay on the Tron, which I thought was actually kind of a cool touch.
I wanted to talk about that. Yeah.
So he sees it on the Tron, and he just sees red and goes right after Finn and grabs him by the throat. This allows Gunther to lock in a sleeper hold that Priest battles his way out of due to the rage. He gets out of it, and he goes straight after Finn again. But this time, Gunther is able to re-corral him, hit a powerbomb, get back in the sleeper, and choke Priest out. Gunther is now your new World Heavyweight Champion. I'm very excited about this. But, James, we have seen the complete implosion now of Judgment Day between Dirty Dom breaking up with Rhea. We have Finn betraying Damian Priest. Lord only knows what happens with JD and Carlito. I'm sure that's something we'll find out on Monday.
JD is tag team champions with Finn, so I think we know where he's going.
Yeah, he's going with Finn. I mean, that was pretty obvious.
They're vacating the tag titles, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But I think this is arguably match of the night. I think it was probably the best wrestled one. The story was great with Finn and everybody. So I'm disappointed as a Priest fan that he has to lose the title here. I'm disappointed as a Judgment Day fan that it's finally all come to an end. But just great stuff out of these three men tonight, and I couldn't ask for more out of them.
I think what hurt the most about that pin situation, by the way, is that it feels now that every pay-per-view defense Priest had, there was a moment that you look back on and that was bad.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell happened? Like, the one with Drew when he got stuck in the ropes, accident. Shit happens.
The ropes were bad.
Yeah, and something I thought he played off very well during the match, and was apparently a lot of praise was heaped upon him backstage afterwards.
He wrestled Seth. He just doesn't kick out of the fucking move.
Yeah, and apparently I heard he might have injured his back on that for like it seized up or something, and he couldn't. Either way, freak thing there as well.
And
did anything happen in his J match, or did he do okay with the J match?
J match was fine. I just that was the thing. It was just kind of forgettable.
Yeah, I wish that he had a defense that was it was perfect. And I will say this match was probably the closest. This one mistake, I don't even really put on him. It just he had to do it, and it didn't look great.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Especially the way Gunther was leaning too. Like all he had to do was just rip him the other way. Instead, he, as part of the show or as part of the finish, he had to roll him that way.
Yeah,
it's just an unfortunate bit of a mess.
It was worse than the time Wade Barrett rolled over Randy Orton to pin him for the WWE Championship, and John Cena got involved. Like, it was worse than that.
Yeah. No, it was just so awkwardly bad.
No,
I had a feeling. I didn't think he was playing.
Could be a work, but
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think
that looked pretty bad.
His face when he realized he couldn't get up was like
he was pissed.
I was very curious to know. I'm very curious to know if that was changed the outcome of the like the way they went about the finish of the match. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a bit.
If what I believe to be true is coming true, you ain't seen nothing yet.
About
what? There is no context there.
The way Trips has been talking lately, I'm guessing that's about the Bloodline. But again, we will get to that.
Of course, the debut of Hikuleo. That's it. That's what we've all been waiting for.
We got. You might need to replace Jacob Fatu. We'll say
that is not the way to go. Tonga low. All right, I can't right now. I'm sorry.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Free Gunther.
Just gonna do these comments real quick. Chris saying WWE SummerSlam 2024 is the day Judgment Day imploded. Yep. It's a sad day if you're a Judgment Day fan. In the back of his head, Adam Copeland is definitely smiling.
A little bit. Matt, you mentioned WWE countdowns when we were talking about Bayley. Tonight is going to be a night with Judgment Day of groups breaking up.
Yeah,
it's going to be going to be in the next edition of their top 10.
Eric pointing out a lot of ropes issues tonight. Logan had his leg under the rope when he lost. That is true.
He's pretty fucking close, but who cares? Fuck him.
Fuck him. And two, the fact that commentary did not acknowledge it at all means we're not going to talk about it. And
I
that's
didn't
fine.
even notice, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it is visibly under the rope.
I saw it was close, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah, but again, fuck him. This match delivered in a lot of ways. Like I said, I love my meaty men slapping each other's meat. Gunther looked strong. He looked dominant. I'm not thrilled that him winning the world title comes with some shenanigans because he's not a character that needs it.
No, he's not.
So I do hope that moving forward, that's not something we see too much of from him. At the end of the day, he is a heel. I understand it is part of the game from time to time, but I don't want him to be Roman Reigns, where it's like the man can't have a title match without interference or some level of shenanigans. Priest,
he also didn't ask for it, though. He didn't ask for it.
Oh, of course, and he's shown in the past when he gets an unfair advantage, he's not thrilled with it. But it doesn't either way. To me, it's a slight mark on what is his first world championship. But it'll be fine in the long run. Priest was very protected. Took multiple finishers. Got out of the first submission. Needed Finn Balor to really screw him out of it. And it looked like he had it won if it wasn't for Finn. Yeah. So, I made it before. I said the thing before. Internet strikes again. But yeah, Priest looked great. Gunther looked great. I'm looking at this man here on the screen now. I am the most intrigued by what this means for Finn. I'm going to read the tweet real quick. Gunther dethroning Priest was predictable. To be fair, I had made peace with that since he won King of the Ring. My issue is that we didn't get Damian versus Finn for the title because Finn Balor deserves to be in the world title picture, and there was no better opponent for Damian than him. The only thing is, if you do that, you're setting up the betrayal, and we were already all sort of expecting it regardless, but you don't also want to flash a neon sign saying it's over, betrayal. So I'm fine that they didn't do it then. We're going to get it now, but because I do agree, I would like to see Finn Balor in the world title picture. I would like to, even if he doesn't win it, I would like for him not to feel like a lackey. What happened? What bothered you?
That's lost. It's all right.
He got multiple title opportunities last year. You know,
and I think he's like a fucking jabroni.
Yeah,
I think he's always going to be in the mix. And right now he's a tag champ. That'll be interesting going forward because it's like clearly
it's not going to last long. He's going to lose it to Jay. He's going to lose it to Jay and possibly Sami.
No, he's going to lose it to Damian and Rhea.
Where's Carlito? He's
cool. All right. If there's anybody to feel sad for here, it is Carlito because JD is going to be fine with Finn.
Yeah.
Dom is going to be fine with Liv for however long. Rhea doesn't need anybody, and
she'll have Damian.
Yeah, but I don't see them really sticking as a group past this.
I think I can see them trying to help each other out, get revenge on these two idiots. But
I'm glad this person liked the match, but really?
Yeah, match of the year. I'm not going that far. Did you not watch Dynamite 2 weeks ago?
Jesus Christ. But yeah, Carlito though, he's just gonna go around saying like one-liners now. That's gonna be it. He's gonna be like.
I don't want him to become Ron Simmons. Just
I was gonna say he's
gonna
be the new Farouk.
He did get some great eye work in time. He just kind of like left the room. He was like, oh, no, that I legitimately laughed.
he's got great facial expressions. He is good at what he does, but he's better than that. He's got more that he can offer still. So that I don't want him to just be that.
I am curious to see where he goes because he is, Puerto Rican like Priest, and that's why they're cool. But he was brought in by Dom to the Judgment Day more or less because he was beefing with Ray. So it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening with him.
Crazy we live in a world where Ray wasn't booked for tonight, but Dom is one of the most talked about things at the show. What a world we live in now.
We're getting old, man.
Oh, God.
Speaking of the world, on X, we have a comment. Have to respect Triple H for making me really love Priest as World Heavyweight Champ and actually somehow not want Gunther to win. OMG. I get that. Like, I was ready for Gunther to win, but I also didn't want to see Priest lose the title. Yep. And we saw something earlier on X that it was interesting. And you guys, I think, Nick, you mentioned it, that like we saw Priest see the replay, which was really interesting. And James, earlier tonight, you said we saw, maybe something was going on with Liv and Finn. We've seen that multiple times. I think they were just kind of little Easter eggs for us to like, what's the word? Like think about, like, wonder, speculate. So, and you said, is Priest aware of those? I'd say probably no, but you never know. He saw a replay tonight. Maybe he's seeing replays elsewhere. Like, it's interesting. It's interesting to think about, and I like the replay aspect of this match. Definitely didn't like that rollover of Gunther, but I can live with it. Definitely a match I could definitely rewatch. Very enjoyable, hard-hitting, meat mania match at SummerSlam.
I'm curious to see if Priest is one of those guys who watches the show, kind of like Batista, or at least in wrestling is wrestling Batista, or like Brock or Paul. I don't watch the show, so
he'll be Bret Hart, like standing at the
sideways,
or like the Young Bucks that one time where they were like backwards and doing like this. There's a lot of stuff, and I am also curious to see if the Finn Liv thing is something that they're going to bring all of them together, where it's Dom, Liv, Finn, and JD, or if it's just something where Finn wanted to conspire against Priest and Liv wanted to conspire against Rhea, and they just found common enemies, and since they worked together before, they decided to work together again. They got what they wanted, and they'll go their separate ways.
Yeah. See, that's the big thing, too. What the hell does Finn have against Rhea? What did she do to him?
I don't know. And that's the funny thing. I don't think it was necessarily against Rhea. I think he's just more annoyed with Priest, or at least it seems like it has been, because as I mentioned at the start of the segment, Finn is a guy who's used to being a leader, and there weren't really leaders in Judgment Day, or at least that's what they said in the beginning.
Yeah, War Games.
Yeah, and then we had Rhea kind of stepping up and being a leader, and then when she got hurt, Priest took over that role. And you can see Finn slowly get more and more annoyed at the fact that Priest was kind of trying to boss him around. So, I think, former leader of Bullet Club is not a guy who wants to be bossed around. So I think that's probably going to be your motivation for Finn in betraying the Judgment Day.
You also got to remember, and I don't think they'll go with this, but they could. Before Finn joined the Judgment Day, he was feuding with them. It was the night before. It was Finn Balor,
longest con ever.
Yeah, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan versus Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. And then after they lost, the next night, Finn joined Judgment Day, and they kicked out Edge.
Right.
So who knows? Maybe Finn and Liv have been working together, and Liv is just macking it with Dom on the side or whatever. Who knows?
Is it too much to ask to just give me my Super Bullet Club in WWE? Give me Finn, AJ, and the Good Brothers. If you want, throw in JD for like good measure.
Cody? What about Cody?
You.
There are a lot of other former Bullet Club members floating around. Styles. Cody is technically a former Bullet Club member.
I need you guys to know.
I know you don't want them there, and they're busy right now. But the Gorillas of Destiny.
Yeah, that's true too. I love that Cody referenced that on SmackDown last night. Like, we have more. He said to Tama, "We have more history than people realize, and I am not scared of you."
Again, what the fuck is Haku's problem?
One of the best lines in BTE history.
I will never not reference that. It's probably it's one of, if not my favorite line.
I need you guys to understand the level of agita I get every time they say Cody's a former leader of Bullet Club.
Yeah, he was not. Well, he tried.
He tried to be, but you know what? That doesn't mean shit. Anyway, great match between these two big men. I'm excited for the direction of everybody who got involved with this match. Gunther is world champion. Who his first challenger will be, Godspeed to them.
Oh, Ilya Dragunov. I feel like that's the only reason why he didn't get to be in that IC title match tonight.
I think it's because
him for Gunther.
I mean, eventually, I don't think he's going to be Gunther's first guy.
I don't
think Ron first. Like he's not even like I like Ilya in kayfabe. He's not even capable of going for the Intercontinental title yet.
Yeah,
he wins a battle royal to be the number one contender. Like
I can tell you this. Jordan desperately wants this to happen. He desperately wants Ilya to be the guy to beat Gunther. I don't.
He got to do that already.
Exactly. You're just double dipping at that point, and you don't double dip the chip. But I'd be fine with the match happening. I don't think he should be the first guy to do it. I just don't.
No, I'd save it for a little while. Especially, I think you could take the time to build Ilya up a bit more and make him a much more credible challenger than just a guy who happens to win a random battle.
What the fuck is Nakamura doing lately?
Surfing, probably.
Nakamura, the guy who Gunther won the Intercontinental title from.
It's a good matchup as well.
But
no. Gunther beat Ricochet
Ricochet won it from. Oh, they did have an Intercontinental title match though.
Yes,
I know they wrestled.
Yes.
Okay.
Nakamura had one of the worst IC title reigns in recent memory. He beat his most recent one. He beat Apollo Crews in what was the state? You saw Watchmen, right?
Watchmen?
Yeah, Watchmen. Tulsa. I love it. WWE as black champion lose in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's very, very
very
God.
WWE.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the Learning Y2J in a while. How you doing, pal? Worst SummerSlam of them all? No, I've been through some bad SummerSlams. This doesn't even crack the bottom five.
No, this had some good moments. I thought this match obviously being one of them. And the theme of, I think, our show today is the crowd was very hit or miss depending on the match. So sometimes they were good, sometimes they weren't. They were kind of in the middle on this one. They were still definitely noisy, but not as noisy as they were for the match before it with Seth, Punk, and Drew. So, and then the next match, which we'll get to in a second, it was gay quiet for a lot of it. But
again, I think the problem was there was all one-on-one matches, a little lazy.
Yeah, that was very curious. You don't see that a lot. The tag titles have seemingly been relegated to being defended either the night before or the night after a pay-per-view. The women's tag titles, I think Chris pointed out at some point, or no, actually it was Fletcher. They haven't been defended on a pay-per-view in forever. So I know they were defended again last night as well, but that ended in a no contest. So.
Yeah, the both tag titles. Actually, it might be the women's tag title. It might be all three. I don't think any of them have been defended since Mania.
Yeah, it's been Mania.
They're at an all-time low.
Yeah, and they've been decent props, for lack of a better phrase. I think it's kind of cool that Solo's been walking around with the tag titles over his shoulders as opposed.
I fucking don't, because guess what? DIY lost those tag titles for nothing.
In 29 days, and they didn't even get they should have won them at Money in the Bank in Toronto. It was bullshit.
And he's also stealing Christian's move, but it does make him look cool.
Yeah.
So, I guess they're gonna.
Wait.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. But I want to go back to the Christian thing in a second.
I was just gonna say, if Jacob Fatu is hurt, like we're thinking he might be there, they might have to freebird those titles, which I don't think they've done in quite some time.
The irony of there being an actual tag team in that group, and they didn't win the titles together, but then they have to give it to him because the other guy gets hurt. has to be one of the most WWE things to ever WWE. Now, I'm going to say, I'm not going to get into the match. I get why they didn't put the tag titles on Tonga Loa.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
awful.
I think he was also hurt as well. I think I read on Reddit
He
that he
botched
wasn't
a low blow. Like this was what, a month ago or a few weeks ago. He botched a low blow. He was tackling Cody into the corner in this match.
The corner. Yeah,
he
missed
missed
the corner.
the fucking corner. He hits the goddamn rope.
Yeah, it was bad.
I never want to rip into somebody because you know what? I can't do it. So who am I? But freakishly large Rocky Romero, Tonga Loa. I don't know what. Tell me he didn't transform into him. The eye patch, the hair, everything.
I saw it too. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
I said it last night. I was watching with my SmackDown with some friends. I'm like, why is he dressed like Rocky Romero?
So no, just
gimmick
silliness.
infringement.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's
whole lot of gimmick infringement going around in that group. But real quickly, James, as you look through the comments, it was kind of cool though that Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, their fathers were in the Islanders together as a tag team, and they never won the titles. So the two of them getting together and winning the tag titles is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That is a nice little bit of wrestling history there, man.
Thank you, Red.
We do have some comments that I want to acknowledge. Y2J saying Balor turning on Priest without the world title picture around it makes absolutely no sense at all. Finn should turn on Priest after he'd won the match and go for the title. I think this was more about wanting to hurt Priest than it was wanting a title. Yeah. This is more of a personal thing than it is a career thing, Y2J. I do get it. Why not? But at the same time, I think he just wanted to stick it to him. That was the most important thing for him.
And this frees up the title and lets it go with Gunther, and he's going to have a great reign, and it allows them to do whatever they want without having to book around the title itself.
Yeah. Y2J saying WWE's booking's been terrible. Levesque should hire a new creative team. Look, I think he gets a lot right. I think he's been getting some stuff wrong, but that happens when you're making TV 52, like, what is it, 104 episodes a year? I'm not giving him credit for NXT.
Yeah. Give or take 52
yeah.
a
The
year.
whole Bobby Lashley thing, we're gonna have to figure out what went wrong there. That's a big.
Let's see. Eric saying, "Dude, that guy's an absolute bum. Triple H got to have buyer's remorse on that one." I think he's talking about Tonga Loa.
Yeah.
Y2J saying, "No Mello, no Ilya, no tag matches. Greatest SummerSlam ever. Chill, Levesque." Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And we went to this.
No one's calling this the greatest SummerSlam ever, and I don't think.
Triple H, I think did. I think that's think that's what he's saying. Yeah,
he's supposed to. It's his
job. Of course. SummerSlam without a Wyatt 6 appearance. I was shocked by that too.
There's a lot of people not on this show. A lot of people.
We've talked about this recently, and we're just allowing it to happen. WWE has managed to trick us into being happy with very few matches on these pay-per-views.
Yes.
And people are just eating it up. What?
This had a lot of matches, though. This
how many matches? I mean, comparatively, because the last couple have been getting 5.
7.
That's not a lot for a pay-per-view. I mean, granted, if you're really making use of that time, 7 can be a lot. But I don't think they were.
I think we talked about this during our Money in the Bank recap. That was a lot fewer matches. And granted, the Money in the Banks go longer than your typical match, but this was a 4-hour show as compared to their usual 3-hour shows. How much of this was ads?
Yeah.
How much of this was like skippable shit? Like so much. They leave too much room to breathe in between matches. And while I appreciate it when I got to make dinner or get it from downstairs or go to the bathroom, yeah, cool. But I don't need 6-7 minutes in between matches.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. There was plenty of time for them to have another match. Do we really need the Jelly Roll segment, which I was just going to skip right over? You know, I know they like doing that shit and fine, but that was room for another match. Or Christ, at least let Breaker and Sami go longer. They push all of this shit in, and maybe it's because it's a publicly traded company now combined with UFC, and this helps the stock price as they're bringing in more revenue this way. But as a fan, like it's kind of annoying as someone who wants to watch a wrestling show.
They see how much money they can potentially make, and they say, "Why don't we do that?" And until they see something that says, "Hey, people are getting turned off and they're tuning out, and now you're making less money," they will not change it. And not only are you right about all the ads and how many there are, we've got ads on the fucking ring mat. We got ads on the side of the ring. We have ads on the barricades. There are ads everywhere. Like the ads that show up on the screen during matches, they are everywhere and they are incessant. And it's like distracting at some moments. I can deal with a little bit here and there, but it's over.
I don't mind like stuff. I hated Prime being in the center of the ring, but I've gotten over it because I genuinely am saying it's not. I could genuinely say it hasn't been so distracting as I thought it would be. But with WWE, it just becomes so overboard. And yes, Eric is right. Ads work. They got him to download Valorant.
I feel bad for you, Eric. You're a sucker. Love you though.
Yes, they do work. Ads do work,
and they bring in plenty of money.
Yeah, I miss when all I would get throughout the night was presented by Slim Jim, and then it would just be in the little bottom left corner of like the icon for the paper.
Now like every individual match is sponsored by a different company who, as Matt pointed out, has their shit splashed all around the ring and on the ring and on the ring posts. And and I know they said a while back, I think is when that Buddy Matthews tweet was great. But for those of you who didn't see, Buddy Matthews, after Dom betrayed Rhea, said, "TK, can I go help out mommy real quick?" But I know when they made TKO, I think it was, they said they were going to have more, I think the word was like immersive ads or something like that. This was clearly the direction they wanted to go in, where they were just integrated into the visual product no matter where you were. It wasn't necessarily just, a commercial. But we still get those too. So I was kind of hoping we get some more wrestling, and we didn't get as many commercials, and now we just have ads all over the freaking place. It looks like, a spam website when you don't have ad block on. It's insane.
It's
going to be really exciting when we get Netflix, how they're going to do all this.
I'm curious.
Say no more, because we even have matches based on products. We have the Slim Jim Battle Royal and the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Like, it's like, oh my God, it's just beating you, like, just beating the shit out of you with ads. That's what they're doing.
It's overkill. It really is. I do want to just one comment from Eric, just really quick, because this is my department. He said UFC goes from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., so who knows? It goes longer than that, fun fact. But they actually book around the Las Vegas time zone, because that is where like all the fights happen normally. And even if the fights are not in Las Vegas, they usually want to book them around the Las Vegas time zone. So, for example, this past weekend, they had the UFC card in London, I think it was, and it started at 3 a.m. in the morning there. So it was like 7 o'clock in Vegas. So, yeah, there's prelims start at 8, but there's prelims before that actually start even earlier. And then the prelims on actual TV on ESPN start at 8, and then the pay-per-views at 10. I'm just saying there's a lot more matches you're probably not watching. But let's get things back on track here and head to the main event of the evening, which saw Cody Rhodes face off against Solo Sikoa for the Undisputed WWE Championship in a Bloodline Rules match. This, weirdly, for a long part of it, was just a straight-up wrestling match. I was expecting more weapons. I think the only ones we really got were the steps, and I'm not entirely sure if that was before or after the Tongans came in and interfered, Guerrillas of Destiny, which led to the returns of Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, who is not as good a sprinter as he once was. I also did I think Randy wasn't entirely sure if he had to make a left or a right at the turn.
That was so funny.
he was looking around the crowd and said left or right. I was like, left. But yes, we had Owens and Orton return, and they took care of the Grills of Destiny, and they fought their way to the back. Cody then looked like he was doing pretty well, and then Jacob Fatu showed up, and he put Cody through a table. May or may not have completely royally fucked up his leg. That then led, it looked like Cody was screwed, but he ended up hitting a Cody cutter, desperation Cody cutter. That led to both men being down. And then we have the return of the evening, obviously, as the true head of the table, the original tribal chief, Roman Reigns, makes his grand return to WWE. That man sauntered down to the ring. I made fun of Randy taking his time. He saunters down to the ring, Jeff Hardy style, and eventually gets in the ring, and it not really sure whose side he's on. Shout out Bobby the Brain Heenan. But it turns out Roman is there to take care of Solo as he hits him with a Superman punch and a spear, and then leaves it to Cody, giving him a little bit of a head nod, almost as if he was giving him permission to get the win. Cody hits a crossroads and retains his undisputed WWE championship. Obviously, Matt, I was gonna know. Normally I would go to you here because I went to James last time, but James is the Roman mark. He's very excited, as he's mentioned. He already bought the shirt. I have to go to him first.
Yeah.
Has it been 4 hours yet, or are you good?
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Everything's tighter right now. Little lightheaded. I've been missing him. And let's go out the gate. One, just for the Roman stuff.
Yeah, we'll
I
start there.
love the new music. It sounds so heroic. Before, the music sounded like final boss villain music. Now this mix of it sounds like he is the hero. He is the conquering hero. I love that for him. Two, the crowd exploded.
I would like to say, and I'm stealing this from Meltzer, the crowd was very quiet during the early parts of this match. They popped a little bit when the Guerrillas of Destiny came out. There were some bigger pops when Owens and then Orton came out. But it was very clear they were just waiting for Roman.
Yeah.
And when he did come out, the place became unglued.
Yeah, no, we knew it was coming, and we've been waiting for it to happen. And I'm being serious. Think back to before he came back and won the title that started the big reign. Could you imagine any crowd caring this much about Roman?
He has not gotten this type of reaction since the Shield. They did the ooh-ah with him and really meant it for the first time.
It wasn't a sarcastic ooh-ah. It was a genuine
or
ooh-ah.
A piped-in one. It was 56,000 people having his back.
I am not overdoing the whole Roman and Cody are friends now thing. And Roman with just a little nod of respect to Cody after he finishes off Solo. That was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I saw Humble Wrestling tweet that out while I was on tweeting the show, and I agree with him wholeheartedly.
Roman is back, and now he's got an angry Bloodline to deal with. And this is exciting. We've talked about the ebbs and flows of being a Bloodline watcher, that there are months where we just don't give a shit about anything that's happening. And then when it hits like crack. It's so good. So we're in the crack phase. We are definitely jonesing.
Crack in the 80s.
I just to do the match real quick. It was a lesser version of the WrestleMania main event. It was fine. Nobody did anything wrong. And I will actually say to compliment. This is the first time I've seen Solo in a while look really good.
Yeah.
He hit a great fucking spear onto Cody when
Mhm.
Cody had the stairs above his head.
That always makes me nervous, man, because those stairs never bounce
know.
right.
I said this to a couple of friends. I was saying that I want to support Solo so bad because I recognize objectively he's a talented guy. Objectively, he's got so much to offer. But since he joined the Bloodline and joined the main roster, I don't agree with the majority of the decisions that went into his booking. He got hurt so bad by them trying to force him to become the new Umaga. And in a world with Jacob Fatu, that was never going to stick.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I like him a lot. I thought he sounded a lot better on the mic yesterday than he has in a bit, because he wasn't speaking in just cliches. And I thought his ring work tonight was very solid. So I hope we get more of this Solo, especially because he's going to be going up against a Roman who doesn't play anymore on the mic. So I hope for that. Again, Tongaloa, Jesus. Just Jesus. Jacob Fatu, I'm going to be devastated if he's hurt. And I do have one critique. I am sick and tired of Cody going for the multiple crossroads.
You've said that. Yeah.
Like, way to bury your own goddamn finisher. Like, Cena used to hit the multiple AAs, but it was after the first AA. What?
He would do 2 in a row. Like, he wouldn't do
2
3.
in a row. But even then, it was after if he had done an AA and didn't get the pin. Then he would do the 2 in a row. Cody just does it. He's like, I know this isn't getting the win. Who are we playing?
So, yeah, he I don't think he really does it multiple times. Unless he does it, unless the first one gets kicked out of. But
that did not happen. I'm telling you, he hit 3, and then the shenanigans, and then he hit the last one.
Right, but I think he had hit one before that, unless I'm mistaken. Unless I'm just confusing him with
I
Cody.
thought he did 2, but I could be wrong.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am wrong. I'm willing to admit it. But
I could have swore he hit at least one. The reason he did the 3, and commentary mentioned this, it's the way he beat Roman, and I think it was a shot at Solo. Just being like, I'm going to put you out the same way I put the real tribal chief out, which actually is a bit more respect than Solo probably deserves. So I get the call back, but I do completely understand and agree with what you're saying.
I am starring this comment, and I'm going to show it because it is the only time in the history of this podcast that those words were in that combination from that man. James is right. So, guys, I need you as my friends, even if I'm wrong, just please drop it.
But again, Eric, it wasn't that it was 3 for no
reason.
It wasn't that it was no reason. It was a callback to the WrestleMania match. But in a vacuum, yeah, there's no particular reason he should have done it. And he does do it a lot. He does do multiple crossroads to win a match.
I'm at a point now that I don't even consider the crossroads as finish anymore. It's either he's 2 or 3 crossroads.
It's a minimum
where a pedigree is.
Has he hit the pedigree? I feel like I ask this every time I watch.
He does the tie. It's the setup hooks, but it's
he hasn't hit the Tiger Driver since AEW. He's hit the pedigree here in WWE.
Okay, he did. I couldn't remember if he did. I still think he should have saved it till he turned heel,
but Triple H isn't ever going to be viewed as a bad guy again, so it doesn't matter.
True.
Now he's honoring his
beloved
mentor, Triple H.
I think you're right. I'm probably still thinking of when it probably should have been done in AEW.
Yes,
and it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't translate to WWE.
Yeah.
So, who's the bad guy he could steal from?
He just starts hitting sweet chin music out of nowhere.
He just starts fucking doing BTE triggers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
When he turns heel, he does the BTE trigger. That'd be great.
Matt, what did you think of the match?
On this? I'm very tired, but I'll just say, James, you're right that Solo looked great tonight. You talked about his spear. I thought his Uranagi was great, and he was pretty solid.
That was nasty.
Yeah, they did a replay of it, and I'm very happy with even a different angle. He got a great angle himself on that, so that was awesome. And he hit a pretty solid spinning solo, but for me, the Uranagi was definitely the best thing that he hit during the match. So good for him for carrying that match. Not carrying that match, but like for holding his own in that
Yeah.
match. And
I
we
don't
have a
even
good,
know.
funny photo from X. We just hope Jacob Fatu is okay. Jacob Fatu hit a big splash from the top rope onto the announce table. When he hit Cody with it, it looked like his right knee also hit the table. He was writhing in pain. Yeah, it was kind of on the top of the table, corner, possibly, probably the corner. But yeah, it looked like he was hurt. It looked like he couldn't get up. And then we also saw that after the show, he was being helped, carried to the back. So hopefully he'll be, if he's hurt, he'll be better in time for War Games. Let's hope. How many months we got?
November. So all of August, September, October,
3 months.
I mean, it depends on when in November because we're only on day 3 of August. So I'd say you have 4 months or 3.5.
We'll see what happens.
We got
I got
comment.
to. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna go to the comment. You're right. I should have. Cody Rhodes and LA Knight were the only faces to win at SummerSlam. I think Chris bring up a very good point. It was a very heel heavy show, but I do think those two face wins kind of outweighed the rest of them. And Drew is only technically a heel.
He's a baby face in this house.
Yes,
he is a hero here.
100%.
People.
Oh yeah.
I did want to say, while I do think Solo did a good job and Cody, always does very well, did this match feel kind of just plain to anybody else?
It did. Bloodline Rules was never really established as being an Extreme Rules match. It was always sort of established as anyone could come in and do what they wanted. So, but yes, I do agree. It did feel very sterile.
Yeah, I was expecting more weapons, and I think I said that at the top of the segment, and all we really got was the steps. I was expecting
Jacob did put Cody through a table.
Yeah, but he put him through the announce table. He does that every other week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, and even then, there weren't really too many super high spots outside of that table. This almost felt like a match you could have had on SmackDown. I was just a little. I was just maybe I'm
minus Roman coming back.
Maybe I'm just gassing up in my head. SummerSlam should be bigger and better matches. But it is one of the big four, and I just thought they would put a little more into the match. But
first of all, Fletcher saying all in pay-per-view, going to cook this whole premium live event with just one match.
Concur.
Yes, absolutely, you are correct, sir. WWE, I miss what you used to be. Look, again, I think there is good. I think it's unfair to say that nothing is working with WWE. I think there is a lot that's working. Just like I'd say the same for AEW. I'd say there's a lot working, and then there are some things that are misses. Hi, guys.
I low-key like that.
I used to. I'm kind of over it at this point. Let's see. Fletcher saying at one point I was watching Otis. All right, yeah, I can't really.
Yeah, but that was hilarious. It was also an ad.
Hilarious, yes.
It was. Of all the ads, it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
but I can understand.
That's what I said with the guys. I was usually these ads are painfully bad, and I was like, this was actually decently humorous, and I'll take it.
Yeah. In wrestling, that is Oscar worthy.
Yeah, and Fletcher,
it wasn't too long.
Yeah. Fletcher saying more wrestling, less money hunger, and maybe you just missed our conversation a couple of minutes ago about it, Fletcher. But I can see there needing to be a balance, and especially because with WWE being a publicly traded company, they do need a revenue stream. But I do think that you have one extreme in AEW that has very little to no ads during their pay-per-views, and it's 24 matches and takes 6 hours, and we're exhausted by the end of it because there's no breaks. And then on the other side, you have WWE, which on a normal pay-per-view takes 3 hours and has 5 matches, and there's 10 minutes between every match, sometimes 15 if you have a jelly roll segment or something. And tonight was 4 hours with 7 matches. So I would wish the two of them could find a much better middle ground, but they're not. And
there has to be balance, and it just like I think back to the Royal Rumble. I think there was 40 minutes between one of the Royal Rumbles. I think the Women's Rumble and the Roman Reigns Fatal 4-Way match. It was literally 40 minutes between matches. It was insane. I feel like AEW and WWE, they're the difference between like the Marvel movies and the DC movies when they're both at their best. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to like disparage either one.
And then you have
your DC and Marvel movies.
And then you have your true Martin Scorsese cinema with TNA.
Yes, James, of course. Only thing I want to say about this match, and then I'm good as far as until we do a recap of the whole show, final thoughts, is it's on our Instagram. Watch our Instagram stories. I have footage of Solo's last Bloodline Rules match, which ended pretty much just as bad for him as this one did. Like, this man, like, why would you pick Bloodline Rules? I know you're in the Bloodline, but like you're 0 for 1 in Bloodline Rules matches. Now you're 0 for 2.
Yeah. Well, no. He's not 0 for 1.
He was like, he didn't have a win. Let's put it that way. He was not 1-0. He was like, what is that in the middle where you're
0-1. He's tied.
0-1.
Yeah, it's like, like, please watch that footage on Instagram, people. It's pretty funny. I think.
Yep, you can check that out at Mark It Down Pod on Instagram. Oh, real quick, I did bring up Sean Ross Sapp's Twitter just to see if there's any word on Jacob Fatu. Triple H said in the press conference that he was a little banged up after the main event tonight, and they'll see where that ends up. So no official word on him yet. That was the only thing I could really find about it from SRS, but he's also he's live right now, so he's probably a little busy and hasn't gotten any official word. Other than that, Fletcher, I see you going off about how bad WWE has been. And look, it's a big matter of preference right now, I really think. And I don't watch WWE every week. I watch the pay-per-views. I come here and I do the show because I like doing the show. And the pay-per-views, I want to see the bigger matches. But week in and week out, I like AEW's product better. It's just I enjoy it better. I like the way they wrestle better. I like I'm enjoying a lot of their storylines a bit more, though there are plenty of storylines in WWE I enjoy. You cannot like the WWE product, then it's perfectly fine. And you can criticize it. But there are things that I'm going to like that you're not going to like. And yeah, one of them was the Otis thing. I thought it was funny. Like, it was just stupid funny. I've also had a few tonight, which makes it even funnier. And I thought there was some good stuff tonight. But I guess, if we want to move on to just, the overall thoughts on the show, I thought there was a lot of not good tonight. Because, like I said, I didn't like the Sami Zayn Braun Breaker match, even though I thought the right person won. I was a lot of the moments, I think, were kind of the energy was zapped out by the crowd just not being very loud. I think that went a lot for the Nia Jax Bayley match, which was one of the better matches on the card. But again, you have, just the crowd not giving a shit for the whole thing. And I do think the crowd being very hit or miss. I was really messing with my brain. But also, too, I think as a whole, this being a big four, I think I was expecting a bit more of it. And while I liked a lot of these, a decent chunk of these matches, Matt, I'm not putting this at that high of a SummerSlam or even that like high of a rank of a pay-per-view. Like maybe this was like a C, like in the C's. It was fine and it had some high moments, but it just kind of felt average to me, Matt.
I think I liked it more than a C. I think the ads are a problem in general, not just for this show. So I won't hold the ads, and again, we did like the Otis bit. So I think I won't say anything negative for the ads for the overall rating of this show. My issue with the show was definitely that all the matches were one-on-one matches. I felt that was kind of lazy, and you're not doing justice to the tag team division, which has not had a showcase since WrestleMania, which is a shame. And I think as far as all the matches are concerned, I really liked all the matches. Did I think anything was like a match of the year candidate? No. But did I feel like, hey, I'm really glad I watched this pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. Yes. My one exception was Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. I think that should have just been a triple threat match. Throw Jay in there, throw Ilya Dragunov in there, whoever you got to do to just extend Sami Zayn's reign just a little bit more till Braun takes him out in a one-on-one match next time around. We didn't do that. We went straight to Braun. Sami kind of looks like this is the second time he's I said it in our private chat. I don't think I said it on the pod tonight. This is the second time Sami has broken a record title reign. Him and Kevin Owens beat the Usos at WrestleMania. And the Usos were the longest reigning tag team champions, and their tag title reign was average at best, I would say, unfortunately. And it sucks because I love those guys, and it was so great to finally see them win tag gold. And this time around, us as a pod, if you listened to us before, you know how we were kind of like, we all love Sami, but we weren't sure if he was the guy who should have been the guy to beat Gunther. Though we did really like the match, and we think his title reign has just kind of been like, it hasn't been bad.
I disagree with you on this part.
What, you like the title reign?
I do like the title reign. I think he's had some good matches. I think is it the best Intercontinental title reign? No, we literally just came from it.
Yeah, it was going to be hard to follow that up.
So,
okay, I won't go as far as saying it was average as best. So, but I would just think it's hard to follow what Gunther did. But I also don't think they really gave Sami enough time with the title. But overall, I enjoyed the show. I think you just heard my complaints. Also, we didn't need the second Jelly Roll segment. And did we really need Miz to host? I think he did the intro and then the Jelly Roll segment, and that was it.
Yeah.
Right? Anything else with Miz, or just those two things?
Well, he did. I mean, he did America the Beautiful, and then opened the show. Oh, sorry, Jelly Roll, and then he had like a quick. He like sung a single, but I Jelly Roll did obviously.
Jelly Roll did as much in this show as Miz did, and I think Jelly Roll should have just done the intro song, which I thought was good. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But even then, we're talking about like the ads, and you throw in now his two segments and the Miz and whatever. Like, this is time that could have been dedicated to a tag match. Right? Yeah. And I understand them wanting to keep these pay-per-views shorter, James. That's something that Triple H has mentioned. And I know Danny at least appreciates it very much. And I don't mind it that much either, considering we have to get on here and talk about it for 2 hours afterwards. But, if you're wasting all of this time on weird little segments, and I understand occasionally you need a cool down, like the attendance announcement, just to let something breathe before the main event. But you're wasting all this time between that shit and the ads, and you don't have other matches. You end up with a very, as Matt mentioned, kind of a vanilla card of just one-on-one matches, one after the other. Yeah. No tags, no triple threats, no extreme matches, nothing. It just made for just good matches, but just a bland card on a big four-page.
I would agree about a bland card. Look, there were 7 matches. I enjoyed 6 of them.
Agreed.
And I'll also say I didn't dislike Sami versus Bron. I didn't have enough time to dislike it. So 6 out of 7, the numbers say good. The numbers say good. And the most of those 6 matches also had great moments. We're going to be remembering the Liv and Dom stuff for a very long time. That's going to be an important thing. No shame in it either. Logan Paul versus LA Knight. LA Knight got his first ever title in WWE.
Get him. Sorry, Mariah. I got hyped out. Mariah.
No, he wasn't saying no, producer boy. What was it?
Oh, no, yeah. Mariah called Tony a bitch after he called her one the other week.
That was great.
Get his ass.
He just got hot that night, man.
Yeah, he really did get hot.
He got worked.
There is one last thing I want to say about AEW. I wanted to say it before, but I didn't have time. Christian Cage gave the members of the Patriarchy a title from the trios belts. He handed one to Nick Wayne. He obviously kept one for himself, and then he gives the third one to Mother Wayne. And he is, I don't know why he hates Luchasaurus, I don't get it. I don't know what he wants to do by picking a fight with Luchasaurus, but he has just been degrading this guy for months now with no resolution. And at this point, it might just be a kink. Oh, no, I know what I said. It's Luchasaurus.
But back to SummerSlam.
Bayley versus Nia Jax. I know not everybody agrees, but this was a great moment for Nia, and they built up a lot of the relationship with her and Tiffy.
And Bayley had some great spots in this.
Yeah,
so we will be seeing Bayley power bombing her for a while.
The power bomb into the diving elbow drop spot was great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that woke the crowd up.
Yeah. CM Punk versus Drew. I might need to get an injection soon. I'm just being honest with you guys. Priest versus Gunther, we all agree. I think it was probably my match of the night.
Yep.
Same.
And then Cody versus Solo, with the match itself was whatever, but we got fucking Roman Reigns back.
And you kind of skipped. Maybe you didn't. LA Knight won his first title in WWE.
Yeah, I did, but I kind of skipped over it to go to Christian real quick. On paper, I'm not good at math. 4th grade math still can't divide. I could do basic addition, and it's coming out to a good show. So, again, maybe not the most on paper spectacular card, but the end result was enjoyable. And I think that's all that matters.
6 out of 7's an 85.
I believe you.
I mean, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 7, which I know is technically a perfect score, but that translates to a 71 if you're doing actual score. Because I didn't really like the main event, and maybe I'll bump it up to like a C+ because Roman came back for it. But the match was very whatever to me. So, yeah, I think it was just I was a little underwhelmed by this card. Because I was less than whelmed. So I just wanted to work that in there.
All right, Robin from Young Justice.
Go on.
So, I was a little underwhelmed, and I think that's why I'm pushing it so low, despite the fact, again, that the majority of these matches were good.
Yeah.
So, all right. Does anybody have anything before we start checking out?
No, I want to thank everyone who's been with us tonight. We gained a couple of subscribers. We lost a subscriber, whoever you are. Ow.
Hey, producer boy, can you bring that tweet back up? Because when I glanced at it, I thought it looked good. But Trevor Dame on Twitter tweeting out, for years people tried to tell WWE that rather than shove babyface Roman down the fans' throats when they didn't want it, give him a heel run, and he end up being the giant face they always wanted him to be. Time sometimes proves people right. That is exactly what we got tonight. He was so over because even at the end of his heel run, the people were cheering Cody, but you could tell the people wanted to cheer Roman. Yeah. And he finally came back. Yes, he's a face, I guess, because he attacked Solo, so he was at least face tonight. And I'm sure he'll be more and more face as we go down the line. It's going to take him a minute, but we can cheer Roman now, and we want to cheer Roman now.
Get in line, people. Some of us have been carrying it for over a decade.
But this is a Roman we want to cheer instead of being told to cheer. And I think that is going to make a huge difference and will solidify him as a great babyface. Because we've always figured he could be one. It's just the one that they wanted him to be in the last run wasn't the one we wanted him to be. And I think that's a big difference.
Yeah.
So, on that poignant note, I would like to thank everybody for watching us here at the Mark It Down podcast. Please be sure to like and subscribe so you can see these great tweets that Producer Boy pulls up. Seriously, though, if you liked what you saw tonight, you throw us a like. It lets us know that you are enjoying what you're seeing here on the channel. And if you want to see more of it, please subscribe. We have some new things coming out as we have gotten to the monetization part of YouTube, and we'll be having some new videos as well. We can start doing some new things for people who are, I don't know if they're super subscribers, whatever they are, but we will let you know as that happens and it begins to roll out. If you would like to follow us on some other social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, the links for those of you on YouTube, are in the description below. For those of you not on YouTube, whether you're over on Facebook or Twitter, or you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can check us out on Twitter at @markitdown_pod. Our Instagram is at @markitdownpod, and our YouTube is youtube.com/marketdown3665. Gentlemen, anything, quick things before we go? James, anything giveaway wise? I know those are starting to come through.
As we hit the moment we hit 975 for subscribers on YouTube, we're going to be unloading on you guys. We really
Hey, yo.
I'm still recovering from Roman. We really want to show our appreciation for you guys being with us and for helping us through our beginning phase of this podcast. So stay tuned. We're just a couple away from 975, and that's when the race to 1,000 begins. Be ready.
Yep, and that race, as James said, will involve a lot of giveaways and some cool stuff. We picked up a lot of stuff at House of Glory last week. Yep. James has had some stuff flying around for a long time that we're excited to give away to you guys. So those subscriptions, and you guys will be rewarded in turn. So on that note, for Matt Cascone, producer boy Eric Casanti in the background, and James Casanti, my name is Nick Cummings. Thank you so much for watching us here at the Market Down Podcast. Have a good night, everybody, and enjoy your Sunday tomorrow.